Hello friends, welcome to Kavita's classroom. I know you're pressed a lot. Examinations are approaching and you are studying hard. So let's continue with this good work. Let's keep it up and let's do another paper discussion now. So the section A, macroeconomics, the first question begins with statement 1 and 2 type. First is keeping other things constant, there exists a positive correlation between the price of the foreign exchange and its demand. No, it is never so. It's always false because the demand and price are always negatively correlated. And the foreign exchange rate indicates the country's purchasing power. Yes, it is true. So here we have the statement 1 is false and statement 2 is true. The second question is, using the given information, complete the following table. And in this table, we are given these two blanks, first and second, and it talks about the nominal and real GDPs. So we know the GDP deflator is equal to nominal income by real income into 100, right? So simply putting the formula, we have GDP deflator given here to be 100 and nominal is 6.5, real is to be found multiplied by 100. 100 gets cancelled with 100 here. So real income is equal to 6.5. So my first blank is 6.5 and C is the only option which gives me first blank is 6.5 and you would definitely get to have this as 125 if you solve, right? So our answer is C. Next question says Dash releases the data of money supply in India and that's clearly RBI. Assertion and reasoning question is there. Assertion says shipping services provided by an Indian company to foreign companies will be recorded in current account of BOP. So shipping services are there and they say it's to be posted in current account. So that's true. Current account of BOP doesn't alter the status of assets and liability. That's also true. And that gives the true reason also because it doesn't alter the situation of assets and liabilities. So we would be posting it in current account. So my answer is A. Here, the next question is commercial banks are regarded as money creators because they purchase securities. No, loans provided by them create, yes, by them create deposits. So because of the primary deposits received by the banks, secondary deposits or the derivative deposits are created. So this is the correct answer. Let's check out the next option as well. They act as banker, they regulate the lending rate. So it has nothing to do with why they are said money creators. So B is the right answer. Question number 6 says, suppose the consumption function is given by this. So the value of multiplier would be, we know multiplier is equal to 1 by MPS. And here we are given MPC to be 0.9. So MPS would be 0.1. So that comes out to be 10 by 1. That's 10. So this is my answer. The marginal propensity to consume exhibits the slope of consumption curve. There is a clear indication from the term consume. Next question says, open market operations refer to this purchase and sale of government securities. Yes, this is true. And to decrease the money supply, the central bank will sell the securities. Now, understand, when the central bank sells the securities, it means their money of the public is soaked with it. It means to decrease the money supply. Yes, that money supply from the economy is decreased and that is trapped with the government by selling the government securities. So this is also true. Hence, both the statements are true. Next question is, aggregate expenditure in the economy during an accounting year is also known as aggregate autonomous investment, aggregate supply, aggregate demand. Aggregate demand is the right answer, right? Because of this, we say how much is the total expenditure. When we talk about aggregate demand, we talk about the total expenditure done in the economy in all the four sectors. And then we say we government sector and rest of the world is not there in our syllabus. So we are left with this. So when we are talking about aggregate expenditure, we use aggregate demand. The 45-degree line in Keynesian economics indicates that income is equal to consumption. This 45-degree line simply is a reference line which says that at any point of time when AS is being talked about, income is here and consumption is here. Consumption is equal to income at any point of reference, right? The vertical distance and the horizontal distance is the same. Now, calculate the value of sales from the following data. And we here see that we are given operating surplus, opening and closing stock. NVA is given. This is the thing. And IC is also given. So here we get to have the hint that this is based on the production method, where we get to have GVA at MP is equal to sales add stock less IC. Right. So this is the formula to be used. But we need sales. So formula for sales would be GVA at MP minus change in stock and plus IC. But we are given NVA. So let us find NVA at FC from GVA at MP. So subtract depreciation. That first step is sorted. VAV is okay. And minus NIT will give you FC. So what is the value here? We need, we need it otherwise, right? So we would have this equality, but we want to have GVA at MP. So these two would be transposed on this side. NVA is given to be 2000, right? Now we would add back depreciation. We'll move them here. Depreciation is given to be consumption of fixed asset, that is 700. And we would add back NIT also. NIT is IT is not given. It's only subsidies given. So NIT is IT minus subsidy. It means here the component, whole component, because this is 0. So subsidies would be taken as minus component, minus 200. So my answer comes out to be 2,500 here. So what is this 2,500? This is GVA. So how do we find sales? 2,500 minus change in stock. And change in stock is closing minus opening stock. So 600 minus 100 gets you 500. Add IC. IC is intermediate consumption. That is 3,000. Right. So what is our ultimate answer? This becomes 2,000 and plus 3,000. My answer is 5,000. And you have to reciprocate the units written here, rupees and lakhs. I hope the calculation is clear to you. Next question is state any two precautions, state and explain. So you have to not only to write it, the single liner, you have to give the substantial answer as well. The precautions while estimating the national income by income method. I always tell my students talk about SWIFT, which is not a part of national income. S is second-hand goods, W is windfall gains, I is illegal incomes, then F is financial transfers, and T is the transfer incomes. So you give the explanation also, and any two can be given here. Moving ahead, the 12th question says, identify and explain any one function of the central bank as indicated below. So what are the functions given here? It's Bank of RBI. RBI is the banker's bank, okay, the custodian of foreign exchange, the government's bank, okay, and the note issuing authority. So any of these, you have all the functions clearly visible here. Any of these can be taken up and you have to explain it for 3 marks. So try to give at least 70 to 80 words, 60 to 70 words of explanation giving different aspects. Anyone can be taken up. And for visually impaired, they say any one function of central bank. You would not be taking this. You would always be talking about as given in the picture. So you refer to picture. This is not meant for you. 13th, first part. In an economy, ex-ante investments exceed ex-ante savings. So investments are more than savings. Explain the likely impact of the given situation on output, employment, and income. So when savings are lesser, it means people are spending more. It means aggregate demand is more. And when demand is more, it means the inventories would go down. So to rectify that, the producers have to increase the production to meet the expected level of output. So employment would be increased to meet the expected level of output. Okay. Because this clearly shows the situation of anticipated excess demand. And they say, what is excess demand? The excess demand means when the aggregate demand is greater than aggregate supply at full employment equilibrium. Then the question number 14th A1. Distinguish between BOP and BOT. It's a clear question of 3 marks. Give any 3 points. You have a number of things like BOT is narrow, BOP is a bigger concept. It talks about only current account. It talks about both the accounts, right? BOT can be in surplus and deficit, but BOP would always be balanced. Then they say define current account surplus. So we have to say that surplus of the whole account, right? So what does it mean? It simply says that it is a situation which shows the excess of receipts of all current account things like the export and import of goods, services, unilateral transactions, and the incomes, right? Where the receipts on these accounts are greater than the payments to the rest of the world. Now, question number 14th, B part. First question, using suitable example, distinguish between FDI and FII. We know that FDI is talking about direct control and influence. Here, the person owns the asset, but FII doesn't give you direct control. So here, the example is your investment in shares, debentures, and bonds abroad. Second question, state one example of external assistance as a component of capital account. So external assistance as a component of capital account. Yes, when some borrowings are taken from the rest of the world, so that becomes a component of credit entry in the capital account. Then comes 15th question. Margin requirement are extremely helpful in correcting the situation of deflationary gap. How and why? What do we mean by the term marginal? For example, if we are giving a collateral of 100 and getting a loan of 60, right? It means the margin kept by the banking structure is 40. But if we want to rectify the deflationary gap, it means we want to give more money or infuse more money in the economy. So we will reduce this margin. And how would it be? That against a collateral of 100, the loan to be given would be 70. So this way, with the same collateral, we are infusing more money and hence correcting the deflationary situation in the economy. Moving ahead, question number 16. First part, domestic income is always less than national income. It's a simple question. Domestic income plus NFIA is national income. So you give this equality and say if it is positive, then it is smaller. But if it is negative, then it is bigger. And if it is zero, then they are equal. Right. Distinguish between positive and negative externalities. Simple and beautiful question. So the externalities means all those impacts while earning the national income for which people are neither penalized nor rewarded, right? So positive externalities can be the parks, the green areas, right? And the negative externalities, the smoke, the pollution, which the third parties do suffer with on account of the production of the producing units, right? Then you have 16th B, A part. You have to either go for this or for this. Choice is yours. In a two-sector economy, consumption expenditure by the households is always equal to the aggregate expenditure on goods and services produced by the firms. Yes, do you agree? Yes, we agree. Support your answer with valid explanation. So you can simply talk about the circular flow that household and firms are two sectors, right? And land, labor, capital, entrepreneur, these inputs go to firms, right? In return, they give their money back, the returns to the factors of production, and that becomes the consumption expenditure, because once these returns are attained by these households, so they spend on their consumption needs. So consumption expenditure becomes equal to the aggregate expenditure on the goods and services produced by the firms. Problem of double counting leads to overestimation of output in an economy. A very true statement it is. So problem of double counting, first and foremost thing is you have to state that when the income is counted more than once. When we say more than once, it's not to be said twice, please. It can be 3 times, 4 times also. So more than once means it's the problem of double counting. And you can give the traditional example of the farmer giving his output to the miller, then giving his output to the baker, which actually goes to the consumer. And then you can talk about some figures, fictitious figures. And then you say that if you keep on adding all the outputs, that would be estimated and, giving overestimated figures. But when you are adding value at every step, right, then only you would be able to give the justified national income figures. Okay. Then you have 17th question. It's a case study. Okay. 2 questions are there, 3 markers each, and it's talking about MSME. Union budget would have given something, some vital role. Okay, then budgetary provisions are given for some goals, and these are the initiatives. Fine. So MSME plays a pivotal role in India's journey of development. Do you agree with the given statement? Give valid reasons for your support. So yes, you can talk about that. They have given a huge promotion to our, they play a crucial role in agriculture, manufacturing, exports, employment generation, everything, right? So, and they say the key measures initiated by the government for strengthening MSME. So initiatives by the government are given clearly in this last paragraph, and you can talk about this Udyam registration portal, PM Vikas Karma, Vishwakarma, and PMEGP and Sfurti public procurement policy. All these can be mentioned in this second answer. I hope the paper discussion is fruitful to you. So keep doing your good work, and we meet next for the next paper discussion. Till then, see ya. Bye-bye.